For centuries, the Earth had been classified as a Category F planet by the Galactic Senate, a forgotten world orbiting an unremarkable star on the edge of the Orion Arm. Its inhabitants were deemed primitive, chaotic, and technologically stagnant. Yet, they were left undisturbed due to the Interstellar Preservation Accord. No interference, no trade, and certainly no attention. That changed on the morning of Galactic Cycle 9083.24, when the supercarrier Oblivion Wraith emerged from hyperspace just beyond Saturn's rings. It wasn't Earth's. High Admiral Kyle Tharon of the Varelian Armada stood in silence aboard his flagship, the Celestial Tempest. His gaze was fixed on the vessel before him, an obsidian-hulled monstrosity 3 times the size of any known capital ship in the galaxy. It drifted silently through space, its surface rippling as if cloaked in shadows and starlight. This is not on any registry," whispered T. Varney, the ship's chief xenotech. "There are no power signatures, no life signs. But the structure, it's built with materials we can't identify. It's as if it shouldn't exist." Word of the discovery spread faster than light relays could transmit. Within a standard week, a dozen ships from across the galaxy had converged on Earth's orbit. Diplomats, mercenaries, researchers, and relic hunters alike, each driven by curiosity, greed, or awe-watched, in reverent silence. The Earth's governments remained mute. No statement, no alert, no military response, as if they didn't even know it was there. But the Oblivion Wraith was not hidden. It was cloaked in a veil of selective perception, visible only to those not of Earth. On board the Aurora Prism, Vistra Lanquel, heiress of the Empyrean Coalition, stared at the ship through her crystalline viewport. She had traveled light years to witness the anomaly. "It's beautiful," she murmured. "A relic from the First Age." "No," said the AI softly. "The design is post-contemporary, possibly even future variant." "What do you mean future variant?" "Temporal displacement. Technology or architecture that should exist centuries ahead, yet exists now." Vistra's fingers danced across the control pad. She initiated a low-frequency scan, sending a gentle pulse toward the hull of the carrier. The response was immediate. Dozens of glyphs lit up along its surface, shifting, rearranging, forming a message. The translation algorithm struggled, but after moments of uncertainty, the message resolved. "You were not meant to see this." Meanwhile, back on Earth, Dr. Arun Malik, a theoretical physicist working at a secluded observatory in the Himalayas, received an encrypted transmission coordinates pointing him to the upper stratosphere above the Pacific. It was unsigned, but carried his personal quantum key. He followed the call, boarding a hypersonic glider operated by an anonymous private agency. Arun was flown to the edge, not of Earth, but of understanding. The sky darkened as they reached the mesosphere. He saw nothing until the pilot removed a crystal lens from his bag and handed it to him. "Look again." Through the lens, Arun saw the Oblivion Wraith in all its terrifying beauty. "Who built this?" he asked, breathless. The pilot, expression unreadable behind mirrored visors, replied, "You did." As the galactic elite tried everything to communicate, board or understand the vessel, the Wraith remained passive. It neither moved nor resisted. Yet scans showed that its internal systems were active. More alarmingly, some of the watchers began to vanish, high-ranking ambassadors, elite traders, and rogue agents plucked from their vessels by forces unseen. One of them returned. Her name was Aelo Verin, once a warlord of the Eleron skies. She reappeared aboard her own ship, dazed and silent, clutching a single artifact, a black shard humming with dark energy. Her voice, when it returned, spoke of a chamber inside the Wraith walls, lined with memories, showing scenes of Earth's hidden history. Earth, it turned out, had not been primitive. They had hidden everything. Millennia ago, when galactic civilizations were still lighting fires on moons, Earth had reached beyond the stars. They had built machines that could bend light, rewrite physics, and fracture timelines. But a great collapse, engineered or accidental, had nearly consumed them. To protect themselves, the survivors cloaked their planet in forgetfulness. Not just for others, but for themselves. The Wraith was a reminder. A failsafe. A beacon awaiting reawakening. Now, the beacon had been seen. The Galactic Senate was in uproar. Was Earth a threat? A remnant of a dead god race? Or a sleeping power just now beginning to stir? Some wanted to attack. Others wanted to ally. But no one dared to touch the Wraith again, because on the 7th day of its appearance, the ship moved. It turned slowly, deliberately toward the sun. Then, without warning, it vanished into a fold of space not yet understood. And as it disappeared, a final signal was broadcast across the stars. When you forget your past, you fear our future. Earth remained silent. The people below lived their ordinary lives, oblivious to the spectacle their planet had hosted. But somewhere, in forgotten corners of deep archives and crumbling bunkers, old machines hummed to life. Locked doors opened, and a few chosen individuals found themselves dreaming of stars, not as explorers, but as builders returning to a long-abandoned throne. The galactic elite, for all their power and knowledge, had glimpsed the edge of a hidden empire, and they would never look at Earth the same way again.